Hello, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory London Network, out with this news that the new airline quality ratings are out, and airline ratings were down in all categories last year. Airlines lower. It's Clark Kent from the Predatory London Network, out with the new airline quality ratings. Airline ratings were down in all categories last year. Airlines landed fewer flights on time, bumped more passengers, and had more complaints filed with the king. What do you guys think of this?
Well, I avoid Muggle transport whenever I can. Constant vigilance. And I prefer the broomstick, so I know little of Muggle transport.
That's absolutely terrible. As witches and wizards, we should help the Muggles out. We should loan them our broomsticks, our transportation, thestrals, dragons, anything we can think of to help them.
Now, for the last 3 years, the Virgin of America was rated #1, followed by the Hawaiian airline, with American and United at the bottom of the list. What do you guys think of this?
Well, obviously, American and United must be up to some treachery. Constant vigilance. Watch out. Who knows what they are doing?
I don't really believe in lists. Everyone is just wonderful, and it doesn't matter who's first or last. I'm sure all of the airlines are quite swell for Muggles.
Now, what can travelers do, seeing all airline ratings were worse than last year, and at the same time, all are showing record profits?
Well, that shows that there is a government conspiracy here. You must beware. I suggest we use broomsticks or your own form of transportation to get places. Don't trust anyone. They're always out there.
That is a bit discomforting to see that their ratings are down, but profits are up. However, I'm sure there's a logical explanation. I don't think anyone's trying to do anything devious in the background.
Now, what should the king do when all the airlines are having record amounts of complaints filed against them?
Like I said, if the airlines are complaining, or if customers are complaining about the airlines, take your own form of transportation. Muggles ride those automobiles, or I guess you could travel by sea, but I prefer a broomstick or the Flu Network.
The king should listen to his loyal subjects. They want to make things better, and I'm sure the king would like to make things better for them too. It's important for him to listen.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Constant vigilance.
Hello.
So in closing, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network, signing out. This is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending, here out with this breaking news. Airline quality ratings are out, and airline ratings were down in all categories last year. Airlines landed fewer flights on time, dropped more passengers, and had more complaints filed against the king. What do you think of this, sir?
Airlines. What are airlines?
It is the flying dragons throughout the sky which people fly upon.
Even this is strange to me. What material is this?
This is paper.
It's paper? No, I've seen paper. Paper is not smooth and shiny like that. It's airlines and it's printed. And why are you asking me these questions?
Well, we're asking about the travel industry because all the ratings for those companies haven't been so good.
Travel. I love to travel by ship. The ship is how I travel, with sails and wooden ships.
Well, all the ship ratings are down from last year,
Sometimes by horse.
They keep losing their bags and stuff like that. So what do you think of this?
I think anyone who loses his grace's bags should be beaten.
And over the last 3 years, the top company to travel with is Virgin America, followed by Hawaiian. And the worst ones are American and United at the bottom of the list. What do you think of them?
Are you trying to tell me there are traveling virgins?
Yes, there are traveling virgins. And the virgins are the best.
And virgins travel by airplanes, airlines.
Yes, flying virgins.
Flying virgins. I've heard of flying virgins. They call the angels, angeles, angels. But humans do not fly. Man does not fly. If God had intended man to fly, he would have given him wings. I do not have wings. Man does not fly. Airlines, there are no lines in the air. I do not see any way to walk in the air, no way to hang from lines. This is very strange. You're a very strange person to be asking me these questions. With this paper that is printed in this plastic.
Now, what can travelers do seeing that so many airline ratings are worse than they were last year, at the same time when they're making record amounts of money?
How can you make money when a man cannot fly? Where can a man go to fly? Where does man fly? Man does not fly. Do I have wings? Do you have wings? Do they have wings? No one here has wings. Well, I think she has wings. But nobody here has wings. Man cannot fly. So how can you make money off of that? Next question.
Okay. What should the king do when all these airlines are having record amounts of complaints filed against them?
I believe that His Majesty the King should turn them over to the Inquisition. Because these people think that man can fly. And the church frowns, has always frowned on people like this. I firmly believe they should be turned to the Inquisition.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
I'd like to say that I claim this camera in the name of Spain.
So in closing, this is Clark Kent on the Predatory Lending Network saying live long and prosper. This is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending out with this news that the airline quality ratings are out and they are down in all categories from last year. Airlines had fewer on-time flights, more dropped passengers, and had more complaints filed against the king. What do you think of this?
It's no bueno. This is bad. They cannot lose people's bags. That is not nice.
Now, over the last 3 years, the Virgin of America was rated #1, followed by the Hawaiian airline, with the American and the United at the bottom of the list. What do you think of this?
Well, they are not Spanish, so of course they are bad.
Now, what can travelers do seeing all airlines are worse than they were last year at the same time when they're all making record profits?
Demand lower prices. If everybody demands, they will lower it.
Now, what should the king do seeing all the airlines are having record amounts of complaints filed against them?
Kill them all.
He needs to step in and tell them that he will kill them if they do not do better.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
No.
So in closing, this is Clark Kent saying live long and prosper.
Viva la Orden de Santiago.
This is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lender out with this news of the airline quality ratings are out, and airline ratings were down in all categories last year. Airlines landed fewer flights on time and dropped more passengers, and had more complaints filed against the king. What do you think of this, sir?
I think it kind of sucks for me as a regular passenger flying between Hawaii and the East Coast, because my legs are long and the seats are getting closer and closer together. They're getting narrower. The passengers seem to be getting bigger in America. So for me, I pay the same rate as the guys that are next to me, in front of me, and behind me, but I'm getting squeezed out by the other passengers. And they're making record profits. I think it's just bullcrap.
Now, for the last 3 years, the Virgin of America was rated #1, followed by the Hawaiian airline, but America and United were at the bottom of the list. What do you think of this?
Well, I do love Hawaiian Airlines. I fly them several times a year, Premier Club member. American, United, I only fly those when I have to. I will tell you though, American Airlines lied to me when I came back from a trip from Italy. During the Iceland volcano eruption, we were delayed several hours. They put us in a terminal at JFK and says, you folks just stand over here in line and we're going to get you on the next flight out, which turned out to be an empty terminal. They corralled us like cattle and would not let us leave. We finally got out of there and got out of the adjacent airport in New York City. But American kind of sucks in my book.
Now, what can travelers do seeing all airlines have record? What can travelers do seeing all airlines ratings were worse than last year, and at the same time they're all showing record profits?
They could ease off on their need for the profits for the corporate shareholders and think of the customers. I've been a loyal customer for 40 years flying, and I don't see that. I've got tons of miles, but I really don't want to use them with these airlines because of their lack of interest in satisfying the customers.
Now, what should the king do when all the airlines are having record amounts of complaints filed against them?
They should take note and stop worrying about taking care of their shareholders and listen to us. It's not like we have another option, but we do have JetBlue has not been mentioned in this interview.
Well, they're in the top 5.
The top 5, but they need to listen to us and quit worrying so much about their record profits.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Say right on Hawaiian Airlines. I love you because our destination is Hawaiian Islands.
So in closing, this is Clark Kent. I'm the Predatory Lending Network saying, live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Clark Kent of the Predatory Lending Network out here with the latest airline quality ratings are out, and airline ratings were down in all categories last year. Airline quality ratings are out, and airline ratings were down in all categories last year. Airlines landed fewer flights on time and dropped more passengers and had more complaints filed with the government. What do you think about that, sir?
Well, I don't want it. If they're going to be doing a service for somebody, they should provide an optimal service for their price. Doesn't sound like they're doing that now, does it?
Now, for the last 3 years running, Virgin America was rated #1, followed by Hawaiian Airlines, with American and United at the bottom of the list. What do you think about those air carriers?
I've not tried them. I do know a little about United, and yeah, I'd have to agree that they are somebody you don't want to fly as much as other airlines. My favorite is JetBlue, if that's in your categories there. They've always been very well for me, and have always got me where I want to go on time.
Well, in fact, JetBlue was in the top 5.
Oh, excellent. Well,
Now, what can travelers do? Seeing that airline ratings were worse in what can travelers do seeing all airline ratings were worse than last year, and at the same time, all are showing record profits?
don't fly the ones they don't like. Fly the ones that are providing the services they do like. Money talks.
Now, what should the government do when all the airlines are having record amounts of complaints filed against them?
Who's the market is not going to take care of the problem. In other words, if the money isn't going to speak, then the government has to step in on it. I don't know the exact steps the government would do at this time, but some sort of regulation I think would be in order. However, I think we need to look into it and see what kind of regulation there would be amongst transportation.
Well, Logan, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
What's an airline?
So in closing, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network, signing out. This is Clark Kent out with the latest airline quality ratings are out, and airlines ratings were down in all categories last year. Airlines landed fewer flights on time, dropped more passengers, and had more complaints filed with the king. What do you think about that?
What do I think? More drinks. More drinks help everything. More drinks throughout the kingdom. Nobody will complain.
Now, for the last 3 years, the Great Virgin America was rated #1, followed by the Hawaiian Airlines, with American and United at the bottom of the list of the great air carriers. What do you think of this?
The Virgin America, not even considered one of the 50 states. How sad is that?
Well, they do have the greatest airline, I'm not that.
They do. But
Now, what do you think travelers can do seeing all the airline ratings were worse than they were last year at a time when they were all showing record profits?
fly more. Always fly more. Fly more.
Okay, now, what do you think what do you think the king should do when all the airlines are having record amounts of complaints filed against them?
More regulation. But like I said, more drinks and less complaints.
Any last minute things you'd like to say to the folks throughout the galaxy?
Drinks for everyone.
Party on, dude!
Party on.
This is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending. They're here out with the latest airline quality ratings. Airline quality ratings are out, and airlines ratings were down in all categories last year. Airline quality ratings are out, and airline ratings were down in all categories. Airlines landed fewer flights on time, dropped more passengers, and had more complaints filed with the king. What do you think of that, sir?
I think it's a travesty, in all honesty, because people need to feel comfortable when they're traveling. I mean, the point of a vacation is to really feel as if you're escaping your issues, and by becoming part of another issue, it's not necessarily a vacation worth taking. So airlines really need to step up their game and just serve their customers correctly.
Now, for the last 3 years running, the Virgin of America was rated number one, followed by the Hawaiian Airlines, with American and United at the bottom of the list. What do you think of that, my good sir?
Well, I think there's quite a reason there at the bottom because recently I've actually had the opportunity to fly on those, and I've got to say it was not too great of a flight for me. It was very turbulent, and the customer service was not too great. Whatever you call those wenches who serve me drinks and food.
Wenches.
Yes, the wenches. I don't know what they call those. Possibly airline attendants. They're very harsh and brutal. They're not so kind. Um, the food is just far too expensive for me, and the pretzels are so stale. It's just a shame.
Now, what can travelers do seeing all airline ratings were worse than last year, and at the same time they are all showing record profits?
Well, when people want to travel efficiently, they have no other option but to fly. I mean, here in the Renaissance, it's kind of annoying how I have to hop on a horse and get across, great vast distances, or I have to hop on a boat to get from land to land. Whereas, I mean, no matter how bad it is, I'm willing to go a little bit farther and pay just a little bit more money to get from place to place. You know what I mean?
Now, what should the king do when all the airlines Now, what should the king do now that all the airlines are having record amounts of profits, at the same time they are having record amounts of complaints filed against them?
Well, that's a little bit of a controversial topic because the fact that we've got money coming in and also the complaints, they kind of counter one another, see, because the benefits are the money, but then again, people are very upset about the service and all that comes with it. So I don't know if the government or the king himself should be too concerned because it really has nothing to do with the hierarchy. It's more people are going to pay for it no matter what.
In closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
God save the king.
God save the king. Well, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network, signing out. This is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network, out with the newest airline quality ratings. Now, airline quality ratings are out, and all airlines ratings were down in all categories. Airlines landed fewer flights on time, dropped more baggage, and had more complaints filed with the king. What do you think of this?
Well, I prefer to travel by broom instead of airlines. Keeps your baggage with you, easier, get to place, or there's always the Flu Network. Much faster, much easier, better than planes.
I also much prefer the broomstick. It's just a smoother ride, you know where you're going. Thestrals are also just really nice to ride on.
But for the muggles, they have the airlines, which for the last 3 years, Virgin America was rated number one, followed by the Hawaiian Airlines, with the American and the United at the bottom of the list. What do you folks think of this?
Hawaiian. Now, I think I've been to that island once or twice, and traveling with Muggle transport, I have to agree that Hawaiian was very nice. They took excellent care, even though one of their flights was delayed, and I should have just taken powder instead.
I myself have never been to Hawaii, although I've heard it's lovely, great place for dragon eggs. I think we should just have the Muggles learn to fly. They're great, interesting beings, and I think they would do well with broomstick networks.
Now, what can the traveling muggles do, seeing all the airline ratings were worse than last year, and at the same time, all the airlines are showing record profits?
Profits. Muggle currency has always confused me, but I have to agree with Helga here that we should just introduce them to the Flu Network. Much easier, much faster.
The Muggles aren't bad. We can profit from them, they can profit from us. We could be great friends if we tried.
Now, what do you think the king should do, seeing that the airlines are having such record amounts of complaints filed against them?
I always am against the government regulating, and so the king kind of interfering. Perhaps just if the folks don't go, the airlines will learn.
Well, it is the king's job to do as his underlings wish. It's only right if the people below him are unhappy. He should do something about that. It's very important that everyone be happy and live harmoniously together.
So anthem.